Let's take a look at these two different sets of tomatoes that I recently bought at my local garden center that I'm getting ready to put into the garden here. Now, when we look at these, we'll notice that we've got this set that's about probably 5 to 6 inches tall, nice thick stems, nice and stocky, pretty sturdy stalk. And then this one, the stems are actually, even though they're twice as tall, those stems are actually not really any thicker. So these are a little longer and lankier than what I'd like to see, but they're still good stock and they're still viable plants. But the point here is really that we can correct this when I plant these. Now, if we look at these, even though there's such a size difference, there's not much difference in the amount of leaves. The leaves are closer together on the shorter, stockier ones. This tells me that this could be, they are two different varieties, so this could be a little bit of a function of the variety, but it probably also is that these ones were stretching a little more. Maybe they were more crowded in the greenhouse, who knows, but they were stretching more towards the light. They probably needed to be potted up again a while ago, but a lot of nurseries will frequently not do that because it's time to get them out the door, get them for sale in 6-packs. 4 to 6 packs are their best, most efficient way to do that. So there's an easy fix to this. And all it is, when I go to plant these, which I'll be doing this weekend, I'm going to strip off these bottom leaves and I'm going to get right rid of those. And then you can see all this long stockiness. I might even get rid of this one. Definitely don't want to get rid of all the leaves because they still need leaves to grow and photosynthesize. But then when I bury this, I'm going to bury this right up to probably about an inch below that leaf. And then you see that we've got practically the whole height of these other plants will be going in the ground. Now with tomatoes, you can see these little hairs here. These will all actually grow into roots. They're called adventitious roots. When they come in contact with the soil and the moisture in the soil, they will grow into actual real roots, and they will give more surface area and more potential for this plant to grow, first of all, better anchoring, but also it will have better access to moisture and nutrients in the soil. Sometimes we even see this if you're growing in a very humid environment, that you'll get roots growing out of the bottom of the stem even above the ground. That's just because they're sensing that moisture in the air and they're growing roots that way. You can just ignore that if that happens. But what we're really doing with these is taking advantage of that kind of characteristic, that trait and that ability to fix the legginess, to make that so these are a little less tall, a little less top heavy, and not quite so apt to break because they are out here dealing with winds and all the natural elements. So we'll get them sunk a little lower in the ground. Now that they're out here, they'll start to thicken up from the vibrations, from the wind, and from their growth phase anyway, and that will help correct that legginess so that what we're left with are really well anchored plants with good deep soil access for moisture and nutrients and great anchoring, and that will give them the best potential for growth and production through the rest of the season.